ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नीलाम्बुजश्यामलकोमलङ्गं सीतासमारोपित वामभागं पाणौ महासायकचारुचापं नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion is like a blue lotus, very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying a powerful bow, an arrow in his hands. Sri Ramcharitmanas, Aranyakand, and verse number is 13. Sri Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, guided by sage Agastya, they have come to Dandakban, where there is Panchabati, a tree. The story has mystical implications. The whole world is a Panchabati. Satchit Anand, name and form. But I will not go into details. And there, presently, they are abiding. Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita. गीधराज से भेंट भई बहुविधि प्रीति बढ़ाई गोदावरी निकट प्रभु रहे परन गृह छाई. And there Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, they met the king of vultures, Gridharaj, Jatayu. Jatayu is symbolic of karma kanda, ritualistic performance of yoga. And having developed a lot of affinity, warm relation with Jatayu, Rama, Lakshmana, Sita began to live in Paranakuti. Parana literally means leaves, cottage made out of leaves. And that's it. From a broad point of view, you always live in Paranakuti, unless you have a Parana to attain liberation. Parana and Prana. I'm joking. And that was near the Godavari river. जब ते राम कीन्ह तहाँ बासा सुखी भये मुनि बीती त्रासा. Since Rama began to abide in Paranakuti, all the saintly people who lived in that area, they were very joyous. They were rid of their fear, their constant fear from the Rakshasas, demons and asuras. Giriban nadi tal chhabi chaye, din din pratiyati hohi suhaye. As Rama began to live in that area, everything around began to develop a positive look. Mountains, forest, river, lakes, all became filled with divine beauty. And day after day, they appeared more and more enchanting, inspiring. This is all allegorical. Means if you have developed a high stage of practice of integral yoga and you are being drawn to God realization, then the world you view will be from a different angle. Your mind will not go after all the negativity and the calamity of the world, but to start seeing behind every happening a divine plan, a plan to allow the soul to attain liberation. That's the purpose behind the entire creation. So the creation is viewed with that purposeful vision. Now it will not look like a constant source of calamity and bad news and dread of viruses. Din prati ati hohi suhai. As you advance in your progress, you continue to see the beauty of God expressing in the world. Consider the lilies of the field. How do they grow? They toil not, etc. And yet I say, Solomon was not arrayed like any one of these. Even Jesus brings out the same message, same word, but now with mind steeped in devotion to God, begins to see the world in a totally different way. Khaga mirga brinda anandit rahi, madhupa madhur kunjat chabi chahi, chabi lahi. Birds and animals, they are extremely joyous. Not only saints and sages there became relaxed, but even birds and animals became relaxed. Even the black bees began to buzz better as they began to suck nectar from the flowers, where Sri Rama himself is present. How can Soban Baranina Kahi Raja, Yaha Pragat Raghubir Viraja, that abode where Sri Rama himself abides, cannot be described even by the 1,000 faces of Sheshanag, of the cosmic serpent. Ek baar Prabhu sukha asina, Lachiman bachan kahe chalhina. One day, Sri Rama was relaxing on his seat, and Lakshmana approached him, and in very gentle words he said, O Lord, Sur Nar Muni Sacharaachara Sai, मैं पूछाऊं निज प्रभु की नाई. You are the Lord of gods, human beings, saints, sages, and all living beings, as well as all the trees that don't move. Considering you, my Lord and Master, I ask this question. मोहि समझाई कहु सोई देवा, सब तज करो चरण रज सेवा. O Divine Self, explain to me what I am going to ask you. Thereby, I will be able to serve your lotus feet in a profound way. कहु ज्ञान विज्ञान, कहु ज्ञान विराग अरु माया, कहु सभगति करहु जहि दाया. give me the subtle knowledge of what jnana is, what vairagya is, and what's the role of your maya. And tell me about that bhakti which you bestow upon your devotee by your infinite compassion. ईश्वर जीव भेद प्रभु सकल कहु समुझाई जाते होई चरण रति शोक मोह भ्रम जाई. O Lord, explain to me the distinction between Ishvara and Jiva and how there is identity of this same self Brahman is playing the role of Jiva, individual soul, as well as Ishvara, the ruler of souls. So Lakshmana asks to receive insight into wisdom that removes the difference between Ishvara and Jiva. And that which promotes Charanarati, devotion to the lotus feet of Rama, which simply implies that which promotes bhakti in human heart. If bhakti has developed, mukti is perfectly secure. Mukti bhakti ki dasi hai. But if bhakti is not secure, mukti is impossible. Therefore, the devotees ask for supreme bhakti. And what that bhakti does, shok moha brahma jai, all your sorrows, sorrowful experiences, the shok, the cause of shok is malas, gross impurities. Moha, the next term, it relates to your vasanas, how your subconscious operates. That creates the force of moha. And Brahm, and the deluded understanding of things. That has a deeper cause, ignorance, ajnan, mala, vikshepa, and avarana. These are the three levels. And these three obstacles are to be overcome for attaining enlightenment. So tell me how to overcome mala, vikshepa, and avarana by using the term shoka, moha, and brahm. थोड़े थोड़े ही मह सब कहूँ बुझाई सुनहु तात मति मन चित लाई. Sri Rama says, "Oh dear one, I will explain to you in brief. Listen to my teaching by your mind, chitta, and buddhi in all three levels. In satsanga, that's the purpose. You are hearing it by your ears, but Shravana leads to manana. Manana leads to nididhyasana. So, if this series is completed, Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, you have been benefited by satsanga in a profound way. If it is only in the level of your ears, from one ear to another year. Then you have not taken advantage of satsanga. So let your mind be involved, mind and senses. And of course it implies bring control of mind and senses in such a way that through these instruments you are not just roaming in a world of pleasure, but you are looking for glory of God. Same mind and senses become instrumental in promoting devotion. The next one, chitta, man, chit. Chit is subconscious in this context. Allow subconscious vasanas to be purified. And buddhi is latent in intuitive potentiality. Sabko sanmati de Bhagavan. When samskaras undergo a big change, your buddhi begins to, your function of intellect does not stay only intellectual, but becomes intuitive. Go char jahat lagi man jai, so sab maya jane hu bhai. As far as your mind goes in the realm of sense enjoyments, all that extension of the mind enjoying pleasures of the senses, is a vast, extensive world. And all this extension is the extension of Maya. All your operations in your life, through your senses, mind, intellect, your unconscious, all this is in the realm of Maya. Beyond Maya, you are Brahman, the Absolute. Now the Maya covers two movements. Tehi kar bhed sunahu tum so, vidya apar avidya do. Listen to the different details about Maya. Maya is of two types, Vidya and Avidya. Vidya, that which enables you to progress on your spiritual path, that which takes you from darkness to light. Avidya, that which takes you from light to darkness. If you are in a deep forest and in the night you suddenly woke up and you want to get out of the forest, your mind has two choices. If you are led by ignorance, you will go deeper and deeper into the forest. And that movement is avidya movement. And if you are being inspired by divine inspiration, you will be led out of darkness to light. And that's Vidya movement. Vidya and Avidya, both operations are in the realm of Maya. Beyond Maya, Vidya and Avidya have nothing to do. Remember always, every jiva is like a reflected soul in a jar of water. That's moving, being confined to the jar of water and shaking with the water and going through this whole process. That's avidya movement. discovering that you are not only confined to one jar, you are essentially the sun. And therefore, it is the same sun that is reflecting in all the jars. So therefore, you have the inherent possibility to have a thrilling experience that you are not only in this body, but you are in all bodies. Therefore, your good is the good of all. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve santu niramaya. As long as good for all has not come into your heart, real religion has not been practiced. And ultimately, you are the sun. So, all the techniques needed for you to realize this, for a reflected sun, to realize the sun, all techniques are in the realm of Maya. They were not real. Now Lord Rama gives insight into Vidya and Avidya. Ek dusht atishay dukh rupa, ja bas jeev para bhav kupa. Avidya is dusht. There are 8 fetters that keep it. They are known as pasha, ghirna, lajja, and abhiman, and many of those points are called. If you have those, then that's dusht avidya. In order to release oneself of fetters, one does Ashtanga Pranam. All that we have explained before. So, Avidya movement allows you to be dominated by dusht, aspect of impurity. And led by the impurity, soul remains confined to bhavakupa, confined to the world process, which is described like a little well. And you don't walk out of the well, you are within, not well at all. Confined to the well. The well is the entire world system, what is known as Alpam. No matter how big this world, no matter how thrilling the experiences, how great your achievement, no matter what, all that is Alpam, because all that is transient. All that has a virus behind it, mortality virus. Ek rachai jag gun bas jaake, Vidya aspect controls the gunas. Prabhu prerit nahi nij bal taake. But whatever Vidya does is also, Vidya aspect is illusory. It is a divine power that operates through Vidya as well as Avidya. Through Avidya in a negative way, through Vidya in a positive way. Jnana maan jahan ekau nahi, dekh brahma saman sab mahi, kahiye tat so param viragi, trin samasiddhi tini guna tyagi. Jnana is that wherein man, looking for prestige and power. That doesn't exist. And one begins to see, one becomes endowed with all the jnana lakshanas, characteristics of jnana, and beholds Brahman as the reality behind all names and forms. Kahiye tat so param viragi, trim trin samasiddhi, tini gun tyagi. O beloved Lakshmana, such a person becomes supremely dispassionate, develops paravairagya, and considers all the powers of the world as straw, as well as he transcends, goes beyond the three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas, for extensive understanding. This relates to Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, from verses 7 to 11, that give you a description, all the characteristics of jnana. Are you a jnani? People say, oh yes, awaken Kundalini. I know the operation of Manipur Chakra, Anahat Chakra, Agya Chakra. I'm joking, but the idea is that is not the real characteristic. What you can do and what you have experienced. But if you are expressing divine qualities in your personality, but what are those qualities? Those qualities must buzz in your mind, and that should be your intention. The more you develop them, closer you are to jnana. And in that process, you are beloved of Rama. Jnana and bhakti, they are synonyms, but bhakti is more highlighted, because without bhakti, jnana cannot be secure. And so I'm sharing with you the Gita message and enumerating those qualities. They are the characteristics of jnana. And opposed to those qualities are characteristics of ajnana. So what is ajnan? Ignorance. What is jnana? What is jnana? Absence of pride, absence of hypocrisy, non-violence, forbearance, uprightness, service of Guru, purity, steadfastness, self-control, dispassion towards the objects of the senses, absence of egoism, reflecting upon the evils associated with birth, death, old age, disease, and pain. Non-attachment, absence of mindness towards one's son, wife, husband, house, and the like, and constant equanimity of mind in all circumstances, whether desirable or undesirable. Unflinching devotion to me through the yoga of inseparability. That point I have explained, Ananya Bhakti. No matter how many gods you go after, always understand your Ishta Devata is the reality behind all of them. And delighting in the company of not delighting in the company of worldly minded, ever devoted to the knowledge of the self, experiencing the result of Tattva Jnana. All these qualities are indications of jnana. And ajnana is opposed to all these. Maya ishna aapu kahun, jaan kahiye so jeev, bandhamochapad sarvapar, maya prerak shiv. Jiva is one who does not have insight into Maya, Ishvara, as well as his own essential nature. He who is the source behind your bondage and moksha. Moksha if you come towards God. Bondage if you go distance from God. And God is the prerak, inspirer. Upadrashtanumantacha, bharta bhokta maheshwara. God is overseeing you constantly. If you begin to harmonize, integrate, you begin to develop a special inspiration, as if God is now patting on your head. God is like a mother watching a child with great interest. If a child begins to do something praiseworthy, the mother has her own way of patting on the head of the child. And that's the act of inspiration. Upadrashtanumantacha, bharta bhokta. And as you advance in this sensitivity that you are drawn by God, you begin to realize God is all. You are nothing, you are just an instrument. God is bharta, and God is the enjoyer who experiences a sense of deep satisfaction. All your experiences have their source in Brahman, pure awareness. And that you have to understand. The world is experienced by your senses. Senses are the light. The mind is the light of light. But mind will not be complete without the function of intellect. Intellect will not complete experience without the function of cosmic mind. Cosmic mind is in reality Brahman. So ultimately, behind every experience, it's God who is expressing. Maya ishna aap kahun, jaan sakiye so jeev, bandhamochapad prad sarvapar, maya prerak shiv. He who does not have insight into Maya, Ishvara, and his own essential nature, he is carrying out Jiva state. And God is the promoter of bondage as well as the release. And he is the director of Maya. Maya movement, Vidya movement, Avidya movement. Dharmata birati yogate jnana, jnana mochyaprad ved bakhana, jate begi dirvaun mein bhai, somam bhagati bharat sukhadai. By performing acts of virtue, or by following the path of dharma, one develops vairagya, dispassion. And by practicing yoga, one develops jnana, wisdom. What's the difference? First stage of practice is striving to coordinate four aspects: karma, bhakti, dhyana, and jnana, action, emotion, will, and reason. When you are organizing them, that's a practice of dharma. When you have organized them, and now organized movement, integral movement, progresses, that becomes yoga. And if that yoga movement, integral movement continues, one attains enlightenment, jnana, enlightening wisdom. So jnana gives you enlightenment. This is the statement made by the Vedas. चाहते बेगी ध्रुवों में भाई सोमम भगति भगत सुखदाई. Oh brother, that which pleases me most, that makes my movement accelerated movement to come to the devotee, that which draws me in a speedy manner, that is bhakti, devotion, love of God. And that's the delighter of all bhaktas, devotees, divine love. So sutantra avalambana ana tehi adin jnana vijnana. And bhakti movement is swatantra movement, is an artistic movement. Art must come from your heart. But any other movement, intellectual movement, is vastutantra. Depends upon what you are trying to understand. And it's kind of a mathematical movement where you can't have any freedom. You have to follow the law of mathematics. 2 plus 2 will be always 4. Can't make it 22. But if you are following bhakti, yes, 2 and 2 is 22. That's again is allegorical, implying your spiritual movement should not be always with a sense of being compelled, but with a sense of sahaj, spontaneity. That's what I always say. Shakti, bhakti, and mukti. Your strength, spiritual strength, must promote a spontaneity. And spontaneity expresses through Shakti, Bhakti, devotion to God. And with this I'm going to conclude for today. Om Ram 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 Ram. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om. Prayer for shower of Karunamaya Rasa, grace of God over all of you, with the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti, and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत।